What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, okay, making his debut on the channel tonight, we have Mike Slamer. Yes, indeed. How about that? Mike Slamer making his debut on the channel. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbidi-bibbidi-bop, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Amaranthus, and Amaranthus wanted to see me react to this song by Mike Slamer called Superstar. Now, have I heard the song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, yeah, I've heard this song before, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This was posted by Woof65. Yeah, Woof. W-U-F-F 65. Woof65. These names. And the video has 14,000 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Mike Slamer, Nowhere Land, Superstar lyrics. Cool. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
It's this reeks of 80s. It absolutely does. my friend Richie, who does have a tendency to watch this channel from time to time. Fantastic drummer, by the way. Probably my favorite drummer I've ever played with. He's very big into hair metal, and I can absolutely see him liking this. I absolutely can. He's probably up. There's a very good chance right now he's probably jumping up and down on his couch. And his poor girlfriend's looking at him like, what are you doing? You're acting like Tom Cruise right now, jumping up and down on the couch with Oprah. It sounds very late 80s. It's not complicated. It's F sharp. So da 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 da. So flat 5 4 3 1. Okay, I mean that's not difficult. The verse very predictable. The pre-chorus very predictable. I will say the chorus right here didn't quite see their approach coming the way that they're doing it with the chorus. I would have thought if they were going to take a softer approach, that would have been done on the pre-chorus as a setup into a much harder, like a much more rock and feel for the chorus. That would usually make a little more sense, but they decided to invert it, and they kept the pre-chorus hard rocking into a much more lighter feel, a much more laid-back feel for the chorus. It's interesting. It's not predictable. That I didn't see that coming at all. It is being done well. It is being cleanly executed. But I'm just going to be straight with you guys. I'm not feeling it. I'm not. This is definitely not my wheelhouse. I'm sorry. It's just not. This you can smell the hairspray on this. You really can. You can smell the Aquanet. Anyway, let's keep going here. I like what's happening in the bass. Okay. Kind of got early Dream Theater vibes coming out of the guitar solo. And I don't mean images and words. I mean prior. I mean like when Dream and Day unite kind of feels from it. Mainly because the guitar and the keyboard were playing in unison with the main melodic line, or it's the main melodic line, while the bass and the left hand of the keyboard and the drums were all hitting those syncopated accents. very Dream Theater, early Dream Theater, very early Dream Theater-ish. Interesting. The guitar solo. If Jake E. Lee were to have a love child with Yngwie Malmsteen, I kind of got that meeting of the minds there. It had a lot of elements of both. We got some of that Baroque style guitar playing, but at the same time, had a lot of blues influence when it came to the bends, especially. It felt like he really likes when he transitions, like holding the 7 or holding the 4 to the 5 or the 7 to the 8. He loves to bend up. He really does. I noticed him doing that quite a bit in the solo. And on top of that, his arpeggiations were clean. They were very well done, but they were quite often ended with a pinch harmonic. And I don't know, I just kind of feel like the pinch harmonics were a little much. Like, I like pinch harmonics, I do, but when they're overused, I'll be the first to admit, when you use pinch harmonics too much, it does start to sound a little cheese. It does. And he started to buy stock in American dairy farms right there, about halfway through the solo. I was like, ooh, you can smell the cheddar on that. You really can. Ooh, boy, you are walking a very fine line right now. I'm guessing the lead guitarist, I'm guessing this is a guitar project. So I'm guessing that Mike Slamer is the guitar player. He sounds like he's a fine guitarist. He does. The guitar solo, if I'm being honest, I like the second half better than the first half. That's just personal preference, but they both sounded good. I think the reason I liked the second half is the usage of the pinch harmonics came way down. Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, I'm not a fan, but it's not bad. It sounds good. It does sound good. It does sound well executed. It does sound clean. It sounds well written. Everything makes sense. The more I think about it, the more I'm liking the idea of changing the approach between the pre-chorus and the chorus. Like I said, prototypically, usually, the feel that we had in the pre-chorus is what we would have in the chorus, and the feeling we had in the chorus is what we would have felt in the pre-chorus. The more I think about it, the more I like the change of perspective. And I also gotta say, the bridge sounded really nice. I like what they did with the bridge. Totally kind of taking it down, giving a little more of a dark feel. I like that. But it wasn't so, but here's the thing. Did it stand apart from the song? Yes, but it didn't sound disjointed. The bridge sounded like it belonged in the song. So, nicely done. I might have to pause one more time. I don't know. No, I went for 3 minutes at the beginning. We got into 3. I shouldn't have to pause unless I feel compelled to for some reason. So, let's see if we can end this and we'll get to the review.
Spinning around Mama's music box, a distant sound, so young and innocent, so
this is so early Dream Theater.
Got lost along the way, memories of yesterday. They found her there in the parking lot. They gather round for the final shot. Look what this girl's become.
Harmonies.
What a shame.
Keyboard leading the charge.
With the fame came misery. Tomorrow we'll be here and she'll be
Kind of sounds like Queensryche too. This riff. And they're pulling a linear fade, really? And the last 45 seconds, I don't get it. I don't see the reason for it. Those last 45 seconds, did they really add anything to the song? No. They didn't give the song any sense of finality. Honestly, I felt the song end. Let me see if I can back it up a little bit. I would have ended it right there. Take out the superstar. Don't need those. Don't need the lyrics there. But that riff, that ending riff. One and two and three and four and one and two and three and four and one and two and three and four and just let the cymbals ring, you know, or something like that. Or maybe he even hit the downbeat of one and just hit that final chord, just that F sharp minor. Just let it resonate. Just let it ring and let it decay. Adding those last 45 seconds or 53 seconds in this case, I just don't feel like it really added anything to the song. It other than length. And then pulling a linear fade to boot, just even that just hammers my point home even more. You know, you're not going to have a definite ending. So why you're adding this part on for what reason? It doesn't make sense. It's not needed. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Mike Slamer with Superstar. This was a request from Amarantus. Okay, kind of got mixed feelings about this, if I'm being honest. This is where I have my subjectivity and my objectivity, and they're kind of tearing at each other's throats right now. Look, I'm just going to be honest with you guys, all right? Was I a fan of this? No, I really wasn't. It sounds very hair metal-ish, and listen, I know I got long hair, folks. I know I do, but that does not mean that I am a fan of hair metal at all. I'm really not. Meanwhile, one of my best friends, Richie, phenomenal drummer, he probably right now is watching this video, jumping up and down his couch, and his poor girlfriend Jess is probably looking at him going, "What are you doing?" As my boy Richie's going, "They're doing this. He's doing this. He's doing Mike Slamer." And poor Jess is again sitting up there looking at him going, "And?" I can just see that now. Richie, sit down. Listen to Jess. Anyway, it's just not my cup of tea, folks. It really isn't. It's not something I would ever listen to on the regular. It's not even something I would honestly listen to on the occasion. I will never go looking for this, okay? I'm just being straight up with you. This is not something that I'm not, okay. It had a nice beat, yeah, but did I enjoy the song? No, I did not. Personally, if I never hear this song again, I will honestly be perfectly fine with that, okay? So there's that. Now, on the flip side, there's the objective side of me, which is where the score comes into play. Speaking of that score, let's get to that score, shall we? On a scale of 1 to 10, and believe me, folks, no one is more surprised at this score than me. But on a scale of 1 to 10, purely from an objective standpoint, I'm going to give this a 7.7. Yeah, a 7.7. Believe it or not, that is the score I feel the song deserves. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Believe me, folks, nobody's more surprised at that score than me. A 7.7. What does that mean? Well, a 7.7 would translate to a really good skill rating, so believe it or not, I think this is actually a really good song. it would translate to 4 to 5 stars and a B+ letter grade. So there you go, 7.7, really good skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and a B+ letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? I'm so glad you asked. I have said this on the channel many times. I don't have to love a song to give it a nice score. I don't have to love a song to give a song a high score. At the same time, I don't have to hate a song to give it a low score either. There have been a number of times where I've liked songs, really liked songs, that I have put down in the 5s. You know, it's an okay song. I personally like it, but from an objective standpoint, it's an okay song. On the flip side, there have been songs that I can't stand, and I've said I don't like this. I really don't like this, and yet I'm still gonna give it like a 7 or an 8. I'm giving this a 7.7. Again, guys, I'm just gonna say it right now. I did not like this. I really didn't. There were some things about the song. There were some aspects about the song that I kind of enjoyed. I liked, but the thing that really I enjoyed more than anything else is what was happening within the bass line. There was some movement happening in there, and there were some times where you heard the bass player actually come in with like a counter melodic line, and that was nice. And the thing is, the bass player never stayed melodic for long. He came up, he would do a little counter melodic line or whatever, and then he would go right back down again into the bass register where he needs to be to hold down the low end and to fill out the sound. So got no issue with anything he did. That was probably honestly my favorite part of the song, in all honesty. The songwriting was interesting. I will say that. The verse, predictable. I saw the verse coming a mile away after hearing the intro. I was like, okay, so I know exactly where we're gonna go. The pre-chorus happened, and I'm like, okay, so let's see what they're gonna do with the chorus now. Because here's this nice, we had the intro and we had the verse and the pre-chorus all lined up and built into this chorus that was far more laid back and relaxed. That's interesting. That's different. Not at all what I was expecting, hearing the progression from intro to verse to pre-chorus. It would have been more predictable. How about this? It would have been more predictable if they had taken the approach that they had with the chorus and the approach that they had with the pre-chorus, and they switched them. I'm not saying switch the chordal progressions, because I don't know if that would have sounded very good. Maybe it would have. But the approach is what I'm talking about. Take the approach for the chorus, take the approach for the pre-chorus, switch them around. It would have been a lot more predictable. I would have seen the verse into that pre-chorus and I would have said, oh man, I know exactly what's gonna happen with the chorus now. Here we go. It's gonna kick back up again. This is not all about what I predicted. I didn't see that coming with the chorus, so that was nice. It was different. 2 bridges, one before the solo section, one after the solo section. Usually, I am not a big fan of 2 bridges. I'm not usually a big fan of that, where you take the same bridge and you do it twice. Granted, yes, did he switch the vocals around? Yeah, he made a couple of changes in the vocals, but notationally, from a chordal progression standpoint, the two bridges were pretty much the exact same. I'm usually not a big fan of that. For the sake of the storytelling of the song, I have a feeling it was kind of needed. So I get it, and it was done well. So I have no complaint. They took something that I'm usually not a big fan of, and they made it make sense. How about that? Still not a fan, but it makes sense to do what they did. Vocals, they were good. Okay, I will say this: they were good. Was I a fan of them? Not really. I was really getting Dream Theater vibes from it. And I'm talking early Dream Theater vibes, like when Dream and Day unite vibes. I forgot his first name's Charlie. I don't remember his last name. I know he passed away. But I remember hearing his vocals on that album. I wasn't a big fan, and I'm hearing this. I'm like, it's still kind of giving me the same vibes. Speaking of vibes, but okay. Before I talk about the vibes, well, I may not necessarily be the biggest fan of it personally. He did a good job. He was clean. He was accurate. He had good projection. He had good tone. The style of his vocals fit this song like a glove. So I'm going to talk about that more right now. I was getting some serious vibes from a lot of different influences in this. I heard, like I said, early Dream Theater, When Dream and Day Unite Dream Theater. I don't even know if I could go to, I don't even know if I could go as far as like images and words. I don't know if I could even go that far forward. Maybe a little bit, possibly, but really more When Dream and Day Unite. I was also getting serious Queensryche vibes from the main melodic riff, the F sharp riff. I was really getting some Queensryche vibes from that. Guitars playing. I swear, call me crazy, but I was getting Jakey Lee meets Yngwie Malmsteen vibes. I was getting some of that bluesiness with some of the Baroque style, especially in the guitar solo. Everything the guitar playing did, I'm assuming that's Mike Slamer. Everything he did sounded very nice. I think he overused the pinch harmonics in the first half of his guitar solo a little bit much. If he had taken all of the pinch harmonics he did in the first half of the guitar solo and stretched them out over the course of the entire solo, so just take the total number, and instead of just doing them in the first half, like let's say hypothetically, I don't know how many he did, but let's say hypothetically he did 12 pinch harmonics. Take those 12 pinch harmonics and instead of cramming them all into the first half, spread them out over the entire guitar solo. I think it would have felt less saturated, and it would have felt, I hate to say it, it would have felt less cheesy. I mean, he did them clean, he did them fine, but I've always had a problem. I love pinch harmonics. That's the funny thing. I do when they're done tastefully and they're not overly used. I feel like they were overly used in that first half. Second half, I don't think had any, so I'm just like, I'm glad that happened. But his guitar playing overall, I dug his solo for the most part, other than the pinch harmonics. Everything else, I absolutely dug. I like the bends that he was putting in there. Whenever he would go like, 4 to 5 or 3 to 4, whenever he would ascend up, he would rely on that bend quite a bit, and I liked it. Very Jakey Lee style. The ending of the song, I already talked about this during the reaction. I wasn't the biggest fan of the ending. I feel like they could have ended that song at the 53-second mark and just hit it, either just end on the end of 4 and just leave, just with a sudden cutoff and just leave us hanging. Maybe let the reverb carry through, or hit the downbeat of 1 with just that F sharp minor chord. Just hit the chord, drums on the downbeat, guitar, bass, everything on the downbeat, and just let it resonate and then fade it out. I think that would have made a lot more sense. I just don't feel like those last 53 seconds really added anything to the song. I don't. I'm looking at and even how they ended it with the linear ending. I'm just like, well, then why are you gonna put that part in there? It just doesn't make sense, So that's just my opinion. Take that for what it's worth. But anyway, take all these factors together, and this is how we're ending up with a really good score of 7.7. Like I said, I wasn't the biggest fan of this song. I really was. As a matter of fact, I'll just come out and say it. I didn't like it. But I could see the appeal. I could see why people would like it. And there's no denying that, looking at everything from an objective standpoint, it is a really good song. So I may not like it, but it is nonetheless getting a 7.7. That's where we're at, and that's where we're gonna stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow and sit down on your couch, Richie. We got a 7.7, a really good skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and a B+ letter grade. Take your pick. I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hope I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for the night, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.